Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible. We'll start off with the presentations and we'll go in accordance with the hands raised. First, we have Merc. You can unmute.
Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible. You can start.
Okay, so my name is Gonsalves, and I'm doing the task of overview of project Synopsis on the real-time stock market web application, and I'm from the web developer group. So now, as to why do we need a web application for trading stocks? If you see, like historically, stock market has been a very exclusive group of people. I mean, it allowed only a very exclusive group of people to trade who had like information on how to buy stocks, how to sell them, and all. But now using apps like these, we can uh, allow a much more wider audience of people to access and buy and sell stocks. So this will help get a lot more users to buy and then make judgments and sell their stock and monitor and check their own portfolios. So moving on to the table of contents, we'll have the introduction, expectations, technologies, the working of the application, the challenges, the documentation, conclusion, and then the references. So starting off with the introduction, this is a full stack web application that will allow its users to monitor, trade, that is either buy or sell stock whenever they want, as long as the stock market's open. And it needs to have all the up-to-date information on the stock market. And the reason it needs this is so that the users can make a completely well-informed decision as to whether they want to buy or sell based on the news. So, and this has to also be on an easy to understand format, as if it is easy to understand, it's more likely that the users are going to use this app and stick around so that they don't just see that it's much more tricky to use and then they leave it. Then finally, it should also offer various benefits to the investors and the financial professionals, since these are the people that will mostly be using the app. And these are basically main audiences, and possibly the other people who try to use it, who try to do stock market trading as a hobby and make some money on the sides. So then now to set some expectations for the app, it should be very responsive. That means it should be usable on any device, be it a phone or a laptop or computer, etc. And also it should be very responsive, as in it should give the data of the stock market, of the news, like in an instant, in like almost about a second. So the latency should be quite low. So the user has a complete, a full real-time experience with the stock market. Then we go to the security. The security is very important in stock market, as you're dealing with the users' financial data, their hard-earned money. So we cannot let any other people access somebody else's account. So this is extremely important. And then we have the stock data. So this we should always represent the correct stock prices and along with its history, so that the user can make a completely well-informed decision as to whether they want to buy, sell, or if they want to, or if they see there's a growth prospect in a stock, if they want to hold it for a much longer period of time, should allow them to get all this information so they can make these decisions. So now moving on to the technologies, we have the front end, which is just the basic, CSS, HTML, JavaScript, and the React JS. This is all used to make a completely responsive, dynamic, and very easy to understand front end, that is all the web pages, so that a user can interact with the web application. Moving on to the back end, we have MongoDB, which will be used to make the database, which will store the news, the stock information, the user credential data, everything. Then we also have Express.js, which will be used to handle the HTTP protocols, and it will also handle all the routing. Then we even have Node.js, which will be used for the server-side scripting. And then moving on to the APIs, we'll have the News API, which will be used to gather all the relevant information and all the relevant news on a certain stock or all the stocks in general, depending on your preference. And then it will display this on the app so that the user can make a well-informed decision. And if there's, say, suppose there's good news, user might want to quickly buy the stock so that it will increase in value, which he can sell later. Or if there's bad news, the user will want to know quick so that he can sell the stock soon. Then we have the Alpha Vantage API. We use this API to showcase all of the stock prices, the stock history, and then the market, the volume, and then all the stock related items that the user will want to view. And then finally, taking this data from the Alpha Vantage API, we also need a way to represent and then show it to the client. So we use that comes under the data visualization, which we will use either Chart.js or D3.js. So now taking all of these numbers from the Alpha Vantage API, we can use it to create either a chart or a graph, which can be more useful to understand for like a user who is not very experienced with how all the numbers work. So at least by viewing a chart or a graph or something, it would be much easier to make decisions. And then now the application should be extremely fast, and it should be very responsive and have low latency. So for that also we need real-time communication. That's why we use WebSockets, which will be used to create a two-way communication between the server and the client. So there is real-time exchange of information. It's not like if the client is sending information, the server has to wait till the client is finished. It's not like that. So both of them can communicate at the same time. Then we use Socket IO for additional guarantees, like for automatic reconnection. In case there's a connection loss, say suppose the internet stopped working and it suddenly starts again. In case there'll be a connection loss. So this will help create an automatic reconnection instead of you doing it manually. Then for the deployment of this application, we'll use the Amazon Web Services because it is extremely scalable and it's a very reliable infrastructure. So also we can use this because it's on like a pay as you go scheme. So uh, it's mostly based on how much computation power and everything you use. You'll only have to pay for so much. So if it increases, you'll have to pay for more. But if it decreases, you'll have to pay for less. So moving on to the working of the application, we start off with the login, where the user will input all of their credentials, and then it goes on to the account verification. So this will account verification where you can either use OTP or something to make sure that it's really this person trying to access the account. Then we move on to the stock selection. So in the stock selection, you're just presented with multiple stocks, all of their market history and all the relevant information. So in stock selection part, user can select a stock and either choose to buy. Otherwise, if he already owns the stock, he can select to sell. So, and then we have the data processing. So in data processing, we'll have the when the after the stock selection, the all the necessary data is then gathered from a certain stock, and then we go on to the visualization. So for the data visualization, all of the it's basically all of the processed data is just shown back to the user in a much more easy to understand manner. So then moving on to the challenges, we have security. Now, when you're dealing with apps such as stock trading apps, you're also dealing with customers' hard-earned money. So we should be really careful with handling all of this, all of their information, and make sure that there is no mix-up or there is uh, nobody else tries to log into another person's account. So for that, we'll have to use user authentication like know your customer or KYC, or even use anti-money laundering or AML, because stocks are also used for, unfortunately, they can also be used for money laundering. So these are other regulations that are useful to prevent that. So then we also have performance. Now, a stock trading app should have high performance and low latency so that the user can buy, sell extremely quickly, and they can also gather all of the news, and they can make it they can make informed decisions as soon as they want. So, and since market fluctuates all the time, that there are multiple changes in stock's value every second. So the latency should be extremely low so that the user can sell fast or buy soon. Then we have real-time data integration. So in this, this is just the integration and the synchronization of all the real data from the various sources, which can also become very complex to synchronize and integrate properly. Okay, so moving on to the documentation. So this is the documentation I've prepared for the stock trading application. So these are the table of contents. So we have the introduction, objective, key features, technologies, working, the challenges, and the conclusion. So this is basically the same introduction where it is a user-friendly platform which can monitor the stock market, and then you can it's easy to understand, and it also tracks the market trends, etc. So then the objective of this document. So the objective of this document would be to provide a document on this application so that it explains all of its purposes, features, and all of its requirements. Now, the key features, as already explained, it is a real-time stock market application. So it will show all of the market trends and all the relevant information in real time. And then it's also very easy to understand so that users can, so that it will hook users more. So if it's easier to understand, they're more likely to use it. Then then we have user authentication. This is for the privacy purposes, so that there is no so that there is so that nobody else can access the data of another person, and to make sure so that that way the user data is then protected. And then we even have the responsive design so that so this is just used to like ensure the optimal user experience across all the devices. So then moving on to the technologies, as I've already gone through, the front end will be using the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React.js. This is all to create a dynamic and user-friendly interface. Then we have the backend technologies, as I've already said, Node.js for server-side, Express for HTTP requests, and the MongoDB for the database. Then the API technologies, this is Alpha Vantage for the stock prices, News API for all the relevant news. And then data visualization, we have the chart.js and the D3.js. Then we also have for real-time communication, we'll also have the WebSockets and the sockets.io. And then finally the deployment. So then moving on to the working of the application, we start off with the user interaction. So the user will be able to interact and perform perform operations like buying, selling, searching, or accessing this market data, or you can even manage your own portfolio that you have already created, where you can see how well your stocks are doing, or if they're not, if you want to sell, or you can see all the stocks that you already own. Then we have the data processing. So in this, the front end, it will send a request to the back end, and it will wait for the user's inputs, and it will validate it before sending. So then the back end then will then receive these requests from the front end, and then it will interact with the APIs to fetch the real-time stock data and all of the news. And then we have user authentication. In user authentication, then the backend is used to perform user authentication so that we can confirm that is actually the the main user trying to access his account. And then we have so in this, the user login details are then validated and then they're authenticated. Then we have data management. So in data management, the market data is then delivered from the API in the backend to is delivered from the APIs by the backend. And then the user credentials and then the profile details are then stored in the database. So now all of this data is stored in the database, and now we have to show it to the front end so that the user can view it. So then so this will come like under the response. So in this, basically the stock market data is then taken from the backend and it is put in a complete structured format, and then it is then it will be shown onto the front end where the user can then view it through the help of a good AI, or and it will be showed in the appropriate areas. So then we move on to the challenges. In the challenges, we have the real-time data integration, where this basically is the integrating of the real-time stock from the API, and then you're integrating it into the application. So this has to be extremely quick as the market is very volatile and it keeps changing every second. So this has to be extremely quick. Then it should also be very accurate, and it should also have regular updates. Then moving on to the user authentication, it should protect the user data from any attacks, and then it should also implement a robust authentication to secure the user accounts. So then, and then this is just the conclusion. So okay, so moving on to the conclusion. Okay, so it is an essential tool, for all of the investors who want to track, manage, buy, sell, or view how all of view their portfolio, see how their stocks and all are doing. And then it also provides an easy to understand format that will just display the stocks and all the essential data to the investors, again for informed decisions. And then it is also developed using modern technologies like React.js, Node.js, and like MongoDB, which makes it like a bit more appealing and much more responsive. So these are the references that I have used. I mean, these are the references for all of the technologies. And are there any questions? I'll be taking them now. Okay, I guess no questions. And thank you. That's the end.
Yeah, Mark, the presentation was great. No issues with the report as well. Everything was
Yes.
in order. You can stop sharing the screen. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Then we have Nidhi. You can unmute.
Sir, is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible. You can start.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nidhi. So today I'm going to present my PPT on cloud computing applications in stock market investing. I'm from Cloud Computing Group. Let's start. So this is the index or the flow of the PPT. First of all, we will discuss about what is cloud, HFT and cloud. We'll discuss later about what is HFT, about robo advisors, data storage, challenges faced without AWS, what is the future outlook, and finally, and then conclusion. So let's begin. Cloud computing applications in stock market investing. So basically, stock market is in a finance field and cloud computing is in technology field. So in this presentation, we will go and discuss about how finance is related to technology, or basically how technology is helping finance to grow more and more. more. The rise of digitalized trading and investing will be shown through this. So first of all, let's discuss about what is cloud computing. So cloud computing is basically an on-demand of IT services. So it's like you don't have to buy your own hardware servers where you will store your data, maintain that, manage that, secure them. You do not have to do all these things. Just put your data on the online servers provided by, like for example, AWS or Google or Microsoft. So cloud computing is basically an on-demand services, whether it's an EC2 service or storage service or security service. Every service is provided to you through an online mode. And main purpose of cloud computing is for pay as you go model. It's not like that you have to pay in advance for the things that you will not be using. No, you just have to pay for what you are using at that particular moment. And when you are not using that, you just don't have to pay for that. And the main important feature is scalability and flexibility. You can just change your servers or just shift them your data completely scalable and flexible depending on your requirements. So basically, cloud computing removes the physical need of physical hardwares and just shift everything on internet-based resources. So it's a great way of cost saving and also allows for scalability. Let's say Netflix, everyone knows about what is Netflix. So Netflix is you also using AWS services to streamline its demand hours. Or like we know how Netflix, how much amount of data Netflix is producing. So AWS is managing its data as well. So why is cloud computing relevant to stock investing? Stock is a different aspect and cloud is a different aspect, but both of them are related. So in stock marketing, we need a real-time data access. Through cloud computing, like if you're storing your data in hardwares or like physical servers and you want to retrieve that data, it will take a lot of time. And in stock, we don't have that much of time because we need to be up to date. So real-time data access, which is an important aspect of stock, can be fulfilled by cloud. Vast storage capabilities. Now, stock is not a limited term. It produces a huge amount of data. Cloud is used to store that much of data, and there is no limit of how much amount of data you want to store. If it's 500 MB or even if you are producing 10 terabyte of data every single day, no issues. Cloud is there. Advanced analytics and tools. So as you know, stock is one thing that is not understandable by everyone. So with the help of cloud, there are many services provided by AWS which features you about analytics or like what need to be done at what point of time. Cloud computing or like AWS ensures everything for you. So stock investing requires up-to-date information tool for analysis. Cloud platform provides these necessities efficiently. High frequency trading, also known as HFT, and cloud computing, how these two terms are related. So it's high frequency. That means data is produced in milliseconds and you have to make decision also very quick. Dependency on data speed and reliability. As the data is produced in milliseconds, speed of data is too much. Co-location data centers. Wherever your data is present and from where you are accessing it, it also depends on how much speed you will be getting it. So keeping in mind all these three features, cloud computing ensures all of these three features are fulfilled because cloud, every service is on internet. So accessing every service of AWS within the seconds or maybe less than that. Data speed also great. And you can store your data at the different data centers depending on where you are located in this world. So HFT firms place and execute orders in milliseconds and cloud ensures this amount of reliability. Robo-advisors. So in robo-advisors, automated financial planning is done, and this is provided by AWS. AWS many services which will, like for example, Post Explorer is one of the service of AWS. What it will do is, whenever you will reach your budget up to 80%, it will give you a notification that your budget is reached up to 80%. Now you need to just either slow down your investments or just increase your budget. So it's not like you're not aware what's happening behind your back, where your money is going, what is happening. AWS will provide a features. There are many features which will keep in mind whatever is happening with your software, for example. So it's using an AWS, it's a cost efficient investment solutions. So robo-advisors use algorithms to determine the best investment strategy, and these best investment strategies are provided by cloud. Data storage and analysis. As I already told you, in stock market, data is produced in a large amount of time. So storing this much amount of data is done by cloud within seconds, very efficiently, without like having a tons of reading tons of code. You don't have to do that. You just have to click and your data will be stored. For example, S3, which is one of the service of AWS, You can store like audio, video, code, anything in that. Irrespective of the format, you can store anything. It's just a click away. Instant data retrieval. As it is easy to store data, similarly, it's very easy to retrieve data as well, and within milliseconds. So cloud platform offers vast storage and computational resources required to run deep stock market policies. Challenges and concerns. Let's say we don't have AWS and normally stock is going on as it's used to go on. So data security breaches can be a major factor through which many people will not be comfortable in investing in stocks, because data security is one of the important aspect of every people, because they're investing their money. Let's say you're investing 10,000 today and tomorrow you get a notification that you lost your money without like any concerns. So this should not be there. Unexpected costs, like you are not aware where your money is going. Regulatory compliance. Compliance is basically the license that you are owning and like updating them within the proper amount of time. So all these things are done by AWS by its own. You don't have to manage everything. AWS just manages everything. You just have to give AWS command what you need to do. Using cloud platform exposes firms to new challenges like ensuring data is protected and managing cloud cost. Cost is also given and data is also protected. Future outlook. In AWS, there are around 200 amount of services, but AWS is just expanding more and more every single day. AI integrations and more automations are going on. Quantum computing and stock analysis, because stock is a vast field and analysis is one thing that is like not done by every single people without knowledge. So with AWS, you can also do that very easily. Enhanced global market connectivity. Through AWS, which is all over the world, depending on where your data center is, you can just connect with whatever a person you want to connect it. So it includes global market connectivity. As cloud and other technologies advance, stock market investing will see more automation, faster data processing, and increased global connectivity. So conclusion, because of cloud, the stock market got revolutionized. Here, real-time data processing is being done fastly, enhanced storage is provided by AWS, and some advanced analytic tools are also provided so as to make your work more easier and to just decrease your load. As technology continues to evolve, the integration of cloud solution in stock investing will become more and more central. Because of cloud, there are many new opportunities, like people who are studying about cloud and don't want to go in stock, they can have new opportunities, new job from AWS, and this will help the worldwide. So these are the references that I have used in my PPT. So open for further questions and discussions. Thank you. Sir, I'm done.
Yeah, okay, Nidhi. Thoroughly researched as always. No other issues. You can stop sharing.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Then we have Swastik Banerjee. You can unmute.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can start.
Okay. Yes, I'll start. Yes, sir. So I am Swastik Banerjee from Machine Learning and Deep Learning Department in Hackpeda. So this is my third presentation on predictive modeling. So as I'm doing my master's in the same field in AI and ML, this project was really intriguing for me to do. So without further ado, let's start. Okay. So for our agenda, okay. So first we need to know that what predictive modeling means. Okay. So taking my critics from the last presentation, I must simplify this modeling technique to any layman actually. So what we need to do in our modeling is that, let's say if we have a data set of many students. Okay, so we have a writing score for the student, we have a reading score for the student, we also have a mathematics score for the student. Okay, so one student comes from different, let's say, race, one student comes from a different parental educational background. So if we get a new record of a student, let's say, that comes from, let's say, A race, that comes from, let's say, B parental education, that has who has scored, let's say, 17 reading, 18 writing, let's say. So for that, for them, we need to predict how much they might be getting in mathematics. Okay, so we won't be able to predict the actual value, but we would actually be predicting if he will score less or medium or more. We have placed some threshold values for that as well. Okay, so so let's get going. So our agenda is objective, of course, like what are we up to exactly, and then while modeling our prediction, okay, we need three basic steps. So the steps are pre-processing. Second step will be this splitting the training and testing data set. And third one would be visualizing the results and the feature identification. And from these three steps, we will be concluding, like we will be concluding all the key findings, okay, while making a small report. And then we will be commenting on the future scope of our project. Okay, so so as I mentioned before, our objective is to predict the math scores using suitable ML models. And we would use three supervised algorithms, regression algorithms, classification algorithms we will use, okay, to evaluate our prediction. One is the decision tree. There's something called decision tree. There's something called random forest, and there's something called logistic regression. Okay, and we would be visualizing our prediction. And third thing we would do is to identify the most important feature from the data set. Okay, so these are the three objectives that we have. But before going there, I must present the data set, okay, that I have taken for my, uh, of course, predictions. So as you can see, there's gender, race, parental level of education, kind of lunch they are getting, the test preparation course they are getting. And this column is our target column, which is often called the dependent variable. We must predict from all the rest other attributes. I see. You can see reading score, you can see writing score. Okay. So this is our data set, and I will just open my Google Colab. Okay. So over here you can see that our data is 1000 × 8. That means it has 1000 records. First, it has 1000 student records, and it has 8 different columns. Okay. So what we are essentially doing first is pre-processing the data. Okay. I'll just shift to my slide where I have mentioned the steps of pre-processing over here. Okay. So so our first step is to find out the number of rows and columns, okay, using the shape attribute. Second thing is to find the number of null values which are present there. We might have a data set that doesn't have values for every column, okay. So for that, we need to clean our data set. So if we need to first find out if there are any null values in our data set or not. And then what we need to do is to convert the categorical columns into numerical ones, because in order to do logistic regression, we need to convert those categorical columns into numerical columns somehow, okay, in order to fit the ML model into it. So what I have essentially done in my Google Colab is that I first just shown the first 5 records, okay, and then I've shown if there are any null values or not. Thankfully, we don't have any null values in our data set that I've got, so I didn't have to do any data cleaning, unlike the previous data set I used. I used to do a lot of data cleaning there. Okay, so third thing I have done here, that I've converted this columns: gender, race, ethnicity, parental level of education, and there are, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns are there, which I needed to convert into numerical values. Okay, I think there are 5 columns. Okay, 5 columns. I had to convert them to numerical values. So the encoded data frame that we got has many rows. Okay, the one hot encoding, what it essentially does is that there are two possible genders we know. Okay, like there are many possible genders, but we have only taken male and female gender as values. Okay, in the gender attribute. So if the first student is a female, okay, the female column will have a 1 value, the male column will have a 0 value. Okay, because that student is a female. Okay, and the same thing just goes on. For race ethnicity, there are A, B, C, D, E, 5 ethnicity groups that were mentioned. So if a student belongs to B ethnicity, his value for B will be 1, and rest all the attributes will be marked 0. Okay, like that, we have encoded all the possible values for each attribute using one hot encoding, so that we can fit our ML model into it. Okay, so so that's the pre-processing part. Okay, and just going after pre-processing, what I've done that I've defined my X and Y variables. X has the like the joins of all the independent variables. Okay, and Y has the target variable. Our target variable for this data set is math score. We need to predict the correct value for math score. So we have taken Y as the Y to be the column math score, and all the other goes to the independent column joining thing, that the total thing is there in X. Okay, and we reserve only 20% for our testing. That means the 80% of the data, that means 800 records, are used for training the ML model, and rest 20% is kept aside for testing purpose. Okay, so we have mentioned a threshold value in the Y classes that I will be showing in my Google Colab. Okay, I have mentioned if a student gets less than 40%, he has a low score. 40 to 80 is medium score. Okay, and above 80, it's great score. Okay, so I predicted if a student gets low, medium, or high. And after that, we just deploy all 3 possible ML models and calculate the accuracy, precision, and F1 values in order to check the, of course, the model metrics. Okay, for each of the prediction, then so that we can conclude our best model that has to be used for this particular data set. Okay, so here what I've done is dropped all the records except for math score. Okay, except for math score, everything is dropped. So every attribute goes to X, and math score attribute goes to Y. Okay, so I've called decision tree, I've called logistic regression, I've called random forest. Okay, these things I've called, and I've calculate the MAE. MAE, acha, I've used the regressor model over here. I was wrong the last time because we are mainly predicting. So regression models are best for predictions. So we have calculated the MAE values. Okay, the mean absolute error values for all these 3 ML models. What it essentially means that let's say we have a best fit line in logistic regression table. If we plot the actual values with the predicted values in X and Y columns, okay, we might, if and if we join all the values together, we won't be able to make a straight line out of that data point. Okay, there might be a little fluctuation between the actual value and the predicted value. Okay, so in order to calculate that difference, okay, from that best fit line, okay, that we can get just plotting the data points across this X and Y plane, we calculate the absolute error for each of them and average the total thing. So if a MAE is very less for any model, we would say that it has a good metric score. Okay, so in our case, I've of course plotted it's a best way to see the MAE for different models, and random forest gave me the lowest MAE. So random forest gave me the best possible solution for uh, calculating MAE. Okay, and I've also done this plotting. Okay, MAE versus all the ML models, and random forest of course gave the least MAE. So that's good for us. Okay. And so this is what I mentioned by the Y classes. It's an array that I defined, of course. Sorry, list that I defined. and in this list, it's low, medium, and high. Okay. If a value is less than the low threshold, 40, it's low score. It's 40 to 80 is medium, 80 to 80 and above is high. Okay. So I've called this print test split function, and I've inputted y classes as the y variable. Okay. And then call each of the decision tree. I've used classification over here. Okay. The decision, the logistic regression, although it's called regression, it's actually doing classification. Logistic regression is there, random forest is there. So for all the three models, I've calculated the accuracy, precision, and F1 score. And as we can see that logistic regression gave me the best model metric. Okay, I visualized this thing as I did for the ME scores as well. All the three scores were almost similar, so that's why I get a very even curve. But random logistic regression had the best value for this thing. And also I've visualized this confusion matrix. Okay, so using confusion matrix, if you be knowing that I've plotted the predicted values in x-axis, the actual values in on y-axis. We have got low, medium, high, three types of scores, and how many are corrected right. You can see that uh, for the cells which have the same column value and row value, that is this cell has, let's say, 2 comma 2 value. Okay, this is the second row and the second column. This is 1 1, this is 3 3. These three are the correct results. Okay, 147 correct results were there, which were actually medium and predicted medium. 9 means that actually low and predicted also low. Okay, these three summation would be the correct results that the data model predicted, and the rest, all these things, that 0 0 9 2 0 7, that means that only two results were actually low, but our model predicted it to be medium. Okay, so this is an error that we have for logistic regression. For this thing, we can say that the actual value was the actual value was medium, and this our model predicted it to be high. Okay, so we have got 7 values like this. Okay, so this is how we visualize the confusion matrix. And for the last part, just go to my PPT again. I just visualize I mentioned this before. I visualize this MAE for decision tree, all the ML models. For the subsets too, we visualize the confusion metrics and model performance metrics. And at last, what we did do is feature selection. Okay, so we basically make out that feature that has the most contribution in order to predict our variables, target variable right. Okay, so we have used random forest classifier in order to uh, make out our most important features. Okay, so as we can see, it has got reading score has got an importance value of 0.34. That's the most. Okay, writing score comes second, gender male comes third. Okay, so I've just plotted it in a horizontal bar plot. As you can totally see that reading score contributes to the most. It's the most important feature that predicts how much a student will score. Okay, in maths. Writing score second, gender male third. Okay, so I've just done the same thing, just created a heat map and visualized the same thing. Okay, as you can see, this 0.35 value reading score is it's the most darkest dark red. Okay, so it's the most. Second is writing score 0.33, and the third one is this gender male 0.051. So this is what I've done, but I have to conclude this well as well. Okay, so visualization done. So this is the conclusion part, that random forest regression model gave us the best, like least MAE value. The logistic regression gave the best uh, model metric score, and also the reading and writing scores are the top two best features contributing to correct prediction for the student math score. So these are the key findings or the report that I generated from our project. And for future scope, we can use this predictive model as a base model, and also can fine tune for different data sets that we can use. Okay, so that these are all the future scopes that I have. These are all the references that I taken up. Okay, I used Kaggle, I used the proper actual documentation of Python, and many data pre-processing and data visualization catalogs I needed to consult in order to make this project successful. And so here comes the questions part. If anyone has a question, please ask me now.
I don't think there are any questions. Neither do
Okay.
I have any questions.
Okay, so then I'll end this over here with a thank you slide. So thank you for listening to me, and yeah, thank you.
There were improvements. This was better than last time. You tried to explain a lot of complicated stuff simply, as much as you could. One thing that I would like you to change is that even if you're trying to, make an introduction, right? Don't do it on the first slide. Start the introduction after you've presented all of the agenda. Like include the introduction in the agenda itself, and then you can just go to the introduction slide, and then you can just start off with your introduction, right? Do it that way, because yeah, first, in every single presentation, you don't need to show your agenda first. Then you can dive into the introduction. You can talk about what exactly you've done and all of that. Okay.
Sure.
Other than that, it was no issues. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I stop sharing?
Yeah. You can stop sharing.
Thank you.
Then we have Rinki. You can unmute.
Yes, sir. Sir, is my screen visible to you?
Yeah, it's visible. You can start.
May I start now, sir?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. So, greetings everyone. My name is Rinki and I am from Cloud Computing Department. And today my project name is Cloud-Based Investment Platform, and my task name is Project Curriculum. So, move to the next slide. That is table of content. These are the table of contents I described in my PPT. That is cloud computing, services model, deployment models, then cloud service providers, then cloud computing in stock market investing, key components, AWS service for cloud-based stock market investment, then advantages of using AWS for stock market investment, and in last, conclusion. So move to the next slide. So what is cloud computing? Cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of compute power, database, storage, applications, and other IT resources through a cloud service platform via the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. Whether you are running applications that share photos to millions of mobile users, or you are supporting the critical operations of your business, a cloud service platform provides rapid access to flexible and low-cost IT resources. With cloud computing, you don't need to make large upfront investment in hardware and spend a lot of time on heavy lifting of managing that hardware. Instead, you can provision exactly the right type and size of computing resources you need to power your newest idea or operate your IT department. You can access as many resources as you need almost instantly and only pay for what you use. So move to the next slide. That is features of cloud computing. So cloud computing is getting more and more popular day by day. The reason behind is gradual growth of companies which are in need of place to store their data. Therefore, companies are in competition to provide large space to storage data along with the various features and quality services. It has been found that cloud computing is a model for enabling
convenient on-demand network access the computing resources. There are many services and features of cloud computing. That is resource pooling, on-demand service, self-service, easy maintenance, large network service access, availability, automatic system, economical, then security, pay as you go, and in last major service. First, we talk about resource pooling. It means that the cloud provider pool the computing resources to provide service to multiple customers with the help of a multi-tenant model. There are different physical and virtual resources assigned and reassigned, which depend on the demand of the customer. The customer generally has no control or information over the location of provided resources, but is able to specify location at a higher level of abstraction. Next, we discuss about on-demand self-service. It is one of the important and valuable feature of cloud computing, as the user can continuously monitor the server uptime, capabilities, and allotted network storage. With this feature, the user can also monitor the computer capabilities. Next is easy maintenance. The servers are easily maintained and the downtime is very low. And even in some cases, there is no downtime. Cloud computing comes with an update every time by gradually making it better. The updates are more compatible with the device and perform faster than older ones, along with the bugs which are fixed. Next is large network access. The user can access the data of the cloud or upload the data to the cloud from anywhere just with the help of a device and internet connection. These capabilities are available all over the network and accessed with the help of internet. Next is availability. The capabilities of the cloud can be modified as per the use and can be extended or load. It analyzes the storage uses and allow the user to buy extra cloud storage if needed for a very small amount. Next is automatic system. Cloud computing automatically analyzes the data needed and support a metering capability at some level of service. We can monitor, control, and report the usage. It will provide transparency for the host as well as the customer. Next is economical. It is the one-time investment as the company has to buy the storage and a small part of it can be provided to the many companies which save the host from monthly or yearly cost. Only the amount which is spent is on the basic maintenance and a few more expenses which are very less. Next is security. Cloud security is one of the best features of cloud computing. It creates a snapshot of data stored so that the data may not get lost even if one of the servers get damaged. The data is stored within the storage devices which cannot be hacked and utilized by any other person. The storage service is quick and reliable. Next is pay as you go. In cloud computing, the user has to pay only for the service or the space they have utilized. There is no hidden or extra charge which is to be paid. The service is economically and most of the time some space is allotted for free. And in last, measured service. Cloud computing resources used to monitor and the company uses it for recording. This resources utilization is analyzed by supporting charge per use capabilities. This means that the resources usage, which can be either virtual server instance that are running in the cloud, are getting monitored, measured, and reported by the service provider. The model pay as you go is variable based on actual consumption of the manufacturing organization. These are the features of cloud computing. Next is cloud service models. There are three types of cloud services model, that is IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service. It is cloud computing service offering on-demand computing, storage, and network resources. It usually works on pay-as-you-go basis. Organization can purchase resources on demand and as needed instead of buying the hardware outright. The IaaS cloud vendor hosts the infrastructure components, including the on-premises, data center, servers, storage, networking hardware, and the hypervisor virtualization layer. Next is PaaS. PaaS stands for Platform as a Service, provides a cloud computing framework for software application creation and deployment. It is a platform for the deployment and management of software apps. This flexible cloud computing model scales up automatically on demand. It also manages the servers, storage, and networking, while the developer manages only the application part. It offers a runtime environment for application development and deployment too. And last is SaaS. SaaS stands for Software as a Service. It is a web-based deployment model that makes the software accessible through a web browser. SaaS software users don't need to care where the software is hosted, which operating system is used, or even which programming language it is written in. The SaaS software is accessible from any device with an internet connection. These are the cloud service models. Next is cloud deployment models. There are 4 cloud deployment models, that is private, public, hybrid, community. First, we discuss about private cloud. Private cloud deployment model is the opposite of the public cloud deployment model. Companies look for greater control over data, resources, and provide private cloud a more suitable choice. These cloud integrated with the company data center and managed by the IT team. Alternatively, the cloud can also be hosted externally. Private cloud offers bigger resources and specification along with customization to meet organization requirement. It also becomes good choice for frequently changing requirements. Next is public cloud. As the name suggests, the public cloud is for all. Public cloud allows systems and services to be easily accessible by the general public. Due to the vast openness to the general public, the cloud may be considered as less secure. This type of deployment model is perfect for organization with growing and fluctuating demands, and also for organizations that are not much concerned about security. In this deployment model, you pay for services, network virtualization, and storage that are available on the public network. Next is hybrid cloud. A hybrid cloud is a combination of 2 or more cloud models. Each cloud model in the hybrid architecture functions differently, but overall it is all part of the same architecture. In this model, internal and external provider can offer resources as per need. Let's understand this hybrid with an example. A company with critical data will prefer storing sensitive data on a private cloud, while less sensitive on the public cloud. So hybrid deployment model is the best solution. With the help of a hybrid solution, one may host the application in a safe environment while taking the leverages of the public cloud's cost saving. The hybrid cloud is also used in cloud bursting. In the organization running an application on a private cloud can burst into the public cloud in case of heavy load. And next is community cloud. Community cloud operates in a way similar to the public cloud. The only difference is that the community cloud allows access only to a specific set of users who share a common objective and use case. This type of deployment model is hosted internally or by a third-party vendor. These are the cloud deployment model. Next, we discuss about the popular cloud services providers. That is Amazon Web Services, Alibaba, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, IBM Cloud, VMware. First, we discuss about Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services, the cloud computing service of Amazon.com, is the largest cloud service provider globally. From its data centers, the business provides over 200 fully featured services, include compute, storage, and database. AWS currently has 32 regions and 102 availability zones in operation. These regions and availability zones are located throughout the United States, America, Europe, Asia, Pacific, as well as the Middle East and Africa. Next is Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Corporation Intelligent Cloud segment contains Azure, the second largest cloud service provider globally. Through Microsoft Azure, the company delivers a consistent hybrid cloud experience, developer productivity, artificial intelligence capabilities, and security and compliance. Next is Google Cloud Platform. Google Cloud Platform it is a part of Alphabet Inc. is the third largest cloud service provider globally. providing enterprise-ready cloud services. GCP enables the developer to build, test, and deploy application on its distributed and scalable infrastructure while utilizing the services capability in security data, management, analytics, and artificial intelligence. Next is Alibaba Cloud. Alibaba Group's cloud computing unit, known as Alibaba Cloud, is the fourth largest cloud service provider globally, the primary cloud vendor in Asia Pacific, and the largest cloud service provider in China. Through Alibaba Cloud, the business offers cloud service including elastic computing, database, storage, network virtualization, large-scale computing, security, management and application service, big data analytics, and machine learning. Next is IBM Cloud. IBM spun off its managed infrastructure services business to Kyndryl, which it now designs, build, and manages private, public, and multi-cloud environment for its customers. These are popular cloud service provider. Next is cloud computing in stock market investment. First, we have to know what is the stock market. The stock market is where investors buy and sell shares of company. It is a set of exchanges where companies issue shares and other securities for trading. So, cloud computing has enabled the automation of many tasks such as data and risk management. Real-time data allows investors to make better informed decisions. Next is key components. Algorithm trading engines, market data adapter, exchange broker adapter data store. These are the key components. First is algorithm trading engine. It is a solution for example trading strategies are created and tested and operating using historical and real-time data managing interaction with other solution components and providing user with analytics and reporting capabilities. Next is market data adapter. Fits in engines with different data types such as real-time market data, historical price data, and others. Next is exchange broker adapter. It manages the interaction with the exchange or broker, for example, to place or revoke order status and other tasks. Next is data store. It provides a durable and secure data repository used by algorithm trading engine. Next is AWS services for cloud-based stock market investment. That is Amazon S3 Data Exchange, Amazon Athena, AWS View, and Amazon SageMaker. So first is Amazon S3. Amazon S3 stands for Amazon Simple Storage Service. It is an object storage service that offers industry-leading scalability, data availability, security, and performance. Customers of all sizes and industry can use Amazon S3 to store and protect any amount of data for a range of use cases, such as data lakes, website, mobile application backups, and restore, archive, enterprise application, IoT devices, and big data analytics. Amazon S3 provides management features so that you can optimize, organize, and configure access to your data to meet your specific business, organization, and compliance requirements. Next is data exchange. Data exchange is defined as it is a new service that makes it easy for millions of AWS customers to securely find, subscribe to, and use third-party data in the cloud. Next is Amazon Athena. It is an interactive query service that makes it easy to analyze data directly in Amazon Simple Storage Service by using standard SQL. With a few actions in the AWS Management Console, we can point Athena at our data stored in Amazon S3 and begin using standard SQL to run ad hoc queries and get results in seconds. Next is Amazon View. It is a serverless data integration service that makes it easy to discover, prepare, and combine data for analytics, machine learning, and application development. Amazon Glue provides all of the capabilities needed for data integration so that you can start analyzing your data and putting it to use in minutes instead of months. Next is Amazon SageMaker. It is a managed service in the Amazon Web Services public cloud. It provides the tools to build, train, and deploy machine learning models for predictive analytics application. The platform automates the tedious work of building a production-ready artificial intelligence pipeline. So these are the AWS services for cloud-based stock market investment. Next is advantages of using AWS for stock market investment. First is business agility. Business agility. Here, agility gives user the ability to host application in multiple AWS regions and around the world. It continues innovation providing by AWS services. It is pay-as-you-go model. We only have to pay what we use. So these are the advantages of using AWS for stock market investment. Next is conclusion. So cloud computing is used across the globe to make the work of professional easier and more efficient with the advantages such as reliable setup and reduced costs. By managing the challenges related to cloud computing, one can successfully trade, back test, and find the right strategies for implementation in different situations in the market. Although it has fair share of benefits and challenges in trading, cloud computing in evolving, improving on tracing toward becoming the next big thing in the world of technology and finance. This is the reference slide. If anyone have any question, please ask me. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I don't think there are any questions from my side either. The presentation was thoroughly researched. The topic has been well researched. You have explained everything properly as well, thoroughly elaborated, no issues over there. Only one thing that I would like to say is that try applying a theme that is that sort of fits in well. If you notice, like in the 12th 11th slides as well, the color combination doesn't seem right. You can see that it's the font is black, but you have a title that is pink and it's
Yes.
yeah, it's green in the background. So just work on the themes of the presentation, because you see, if you have a great content with you but you do not really present it well visually, then that like anybody would not find much appeal to it. So that is one thing that you have to work on. Other than that, it was all fine, and it did get monotonous. Yeah, there was like same tonality. It felt like you got tired in between, considering that you had to say so much. So try bringing in more energy if you can next time. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Other than that, it was fine. No problems.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
You
you,
can
sir.
stop sharing. Yeah. Utsav, you can unmute.
Hello,
Yeah, Utsav.
is my voice audible?
Yeah, it's audible.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I have some queries regarding my task. Can I ask?
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir. Please provide me the GitHub link where I can push my all the codes of my task.
You do not have to push any sort of code on GitHub. You have to show it to me or the other Scrum managers, and we'll review it.
Okay.
What
Okay.
domain are you from?
Python.
Python. And how many tasks have you completed yet?
Yesterday I got only one task. I
Okay.
am from 16th batch.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
basically you have to make once you're done with your code and everything, you have to make a presentation,
Okay.
and then you have to show us the demonstration along with the presentation. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you do not have to submit the code anywhere per se.
Okay. So I have to do presentation of
Yeah,
my
you have
task.
to demonstrate the code as well later on during your presentation.
Okay. And is there any tutorial regarding my task?
You have already even on the day of the orientation, I showed you the intern tracker over there. There are all the references available for your presentation, for your tasks. I'm sorry.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Anything
Okay.
else?
No, thank you, sir.
Okay. So I think we're done with all the presentations. Thank you everybody for joining in.